Hey there, my name is John Suscovich, and I have a podcast to go with this YouTube channel that you may or may not know all about at this point. I want to share a clip with you. The whole podcast episode is up on iTunes and on my website, but I wanted to share just a clip with the YouTube audience so you get a taste of what you would get if you were listening to it in long form. But to be quite honest, nobody listens to 45-minute YouTube videos anyway, so just trying to cut it down to the parts that I think you might like best. Today we're covering a topic that is near and dear to my soul, which is farmers finding their limits, how I found my limit in the past, what it has taught me, how I've adjusted my lifestyle to just not hit that limit again. And so take from it what you will. At the end of this clip, I will come back in onto the studio here, show you where to get the podcast and when new episodes are coming out.
I think we do it because we really like it. I didn't like, maybe you love it.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe you don't have to, you can love farming and not farm full time.
That's the position I sit in right now.
You can love hops.
Yeah.
You can love it. But you don't want to, you love growing them. It's something you're passionate about and you love it. But you work X, Y, and Z too. And that gives you a personal satisfaction in your creation. And over here, these other jobs or careers give you this satisfaction.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like you're either a farmer or you're not. There's your 50 Shades of Farming, right? It doesn't. You can just do bees in your backyard. You can have 3 chickens running around in town. Right? Is that not a farmer? You're creating food. You're nurturing animals. You're taking the gifts that you get and you're doing something with it. Is that a farmer? Absolutely. Right? There's different shades of farming, and everybody's got their own way they want to do it and what fulfills them, and
what can and will work for them. Or it doesn't work for them, that can only be defined by the person.
I'm not even sure you can put it in a box, nice, neat, clean. Why do you people get up in the morning and do? You ask 50 farmers, you'll get 50 different answers. There's that box. I really question a lot of farmers. Like, dude, you are, you're showing me the books. You're really tired. You're not happy. Why do you keep doing this? And there's some internal clock that I can't stop.
Right.
You can't even describe
I wake up
what
thinking about it. Yeah. One of the reasons why I still do what I do is because I can't imagine doing anything else. Having worked, I wasn't born and raised a farmer.
Right.
This is career number 2 or 3, whatever it is. Everyone has those days, and my rose-colored glasses have gone clear, and I see things a lot differently than I did when I first met you. And there are days where I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm really mad. And I'll come in and say that to Kate, and I'll be like, I can give it this much longer, but I don't know that I want to do this. And then I calm down. I usually have low blood sugar, and I need to eat something, and I'm hangry. And then I eat something or I drink a beer, and I'm like, oh yeah, but what else would I be doing? All right, so say you want to stop. Say it's frustrating. Say you hate it. Say you're in the back of the field, and this happens to me. I'm in the backfield, I'm in tears, and I have a hose just running over my head. And the tears and the water mixing together, and I'm sobbing, and I'm hot and sweaty, and my body temperature's coming down, and I'm like, I need to not get to that point. But getting to that point doesn't mean that I would rather be answering to somebody else, sitting behind a desk, doing what I used to do before this, or pursuing another career. I have a hard time imagining a world where I don't get the moments where I'm walking through the grass, picking up ticks. I get to see little kids on my farm chores every weekend in the summer, handling baby chicks. Where we're walking bins of freshly harvested hops into the brewery and dumping them right into a beer that we made that day, and it's local as 150 feet. And those moments, that satisfaction of all those little elements put together, is what I focus on when things get difficult, because no matter how good from the outside my life may look or someone else's life may look, the grass is always greener on the other side. You can paint whatever picture you want of like, if I only had X piece of equipment, if I only had their property, if I only had this, that, and the other thing. Nobody has it figured out, and that is one of the universal unifiers of all the people. Nobody's got it great. You look at people who are rich and famous, and they're going through divorce, or they're in scandals. Where our country is not short on scandals these days. There's something that they've done that's been terrible for somebody else. You look at somebody who's poor, but they have wonderful relationships and a great marriage, or whatever you place your values on. Everybody has perhaps something good in their life, hopefully, and they have something bad. And you try to surround yourself with people who share in values that you have, and develop a community around what you're doing and what your living and workspace is, that you can put up with them on a day-to-day basis. And you have a joy in your heart when you see them. And everything else, like money is a tool, time is a tool. We all have the same amount of time. We're all going to have different amounts of money. We're all going to have different values on how warm your house is, how furnished your house is, how many miles in your car, how much money do you owe on your car still. Those are all just things that don't matter as much as the people you surround yourself with, and if you find meaning out of the things you do on a day-to-day basis, for me.
So wouldn't you say that when you're crying or whining or whatever with
the
thing over
the grass
that,
whiner,
right? You're with the hose. Wouldn't you say that you actually need that once in a while to remind yourself?
It gives you perspective.
How great you really, that moment. How else would you really appreciate what you have?
Without those moments, I wouldn't know that I have limits. You were just saying that you can outwork anybody. There comes a point to a limit, and yes, you can, and we have that mindset where I'm like, it doesn't matter, I can have it all, I will have it all. And there are times where, yes, that's a great type A philosophy to have and move forward with, but at the same time, realizing that you're human and you can have it all and you will have it all also means balance, and reassessing what your values are on a regular basis, and waking up and saying, all right, today I'm going to do something that makes my day better and makes somebody else's day better. And if something falls out of that, or if something sucks, then you go, I'm going to not do that again, and I'm going to do more of the good stuff. And that's how you become more efficient when you're talking about time and motion and farming and making money, but also more efficient in your relationships, that the people who bring you down, spend less time with them, and the people who bring you up, you start a podcast with, so you force them to drive 4 hours so you can sit in your living room and have a podcast. Yeah. And blow some smoke up your here at the end. But I think if it works for you, that's a good podcast episode number 1 for me, Mr. Troy. So for the whole episode of this podcast, you can go to iTunes and download it, season 1, episode 1, or you can go over to farmmarketingsolutions.com/GFP. That's a Growing Farm podcast, and you'll find all the new episodes there as well. I will have links for all these things below in the description for this video. We had 3 episodes in January as we were kind of cutting our teeth and figuring out the iTunes thing and getting a cadence between Troy and I. The new episodes of the podcast start the first full week of March. It's on a Thursday. I believe it is the 7th. So stay tuned for new episodes, beginning of season 2 then. And until then, subscribe wherever you catch the pods, and keep listening on the YouTube channel. And tomorrow I'm going to share a clip from the 2nd episode of the Growing Farms podcast, where Troy talks about how 10 cows became 40 cows and why, for that particular use case, that was a bad thing. It didn't work out well. And I want to share that story with you guys tomorrow. It comes out at 6 a.m. on Wednesday. And if you're watching this in the future, well, then it's just the next video after this in the series. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. And until next time, I will see you out in the field.